We're going to do a little warm-up before we get going, okay? Little tiny warm-up. If you can stand. If it won't will it interfere with this? If it won't interfere with this, sure. Is that okay? All righty. Okay. Little warm up for us, because what we're going to do today is something that's fun. Okay. You're going to slide, clap. Okay? Slide, clap. Slide, clap. Slide. Now do a double clap. Slide, clap, clap. Slide, clap, clap. Slide. Go back to single clap. Slide. Now, we're going to add in a little knee patty pat, okay? Keep it together. Clap. It's going to go like this. Slide, clap. Slide, clap. Slide, clap. Slide, clap. Okay, pause. Now, can we go like this? Slide, snap, 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 slide, clap. Slide 4 snaps. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, why are we doing this? Because we need to know how to do the church clap, right? No, not really. But it will help with that. It'll help with that. Do you know why we're doing it? Because all of the rhythms that we sing every day, we actually like to do with our bodies. What is this at? We do this all the time. We do it at the ball game. We do it outside when we're playing. We are constantly going to be doing what we're learning today. So if you think, oh, I don't understand it, you already do, because you've done at some basketball game sometime or other, right? You've done it. Everything that we're going to do today is fun. Sometimes we just have to feel it, right? Okay. All right. That's our warm-up. Have a seat. We're going to jump right into what we did last time as a quick review. If you missed it, I tried to post it, and it didn't work. So I'll find some tech guy to help me figure out how to post it if you want to look back over it. But we're going to just review a little tiny bit. I can hear it. That's great. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Awesome. I got too close to it. That's what it was.
So you're doing bus 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So quick reminders. I'm going to breeze through this. Like I say, we're not going to go back through all of it, but just remind ourselves, where do we find middle C on the piano? Where do we find it? The name, right? Under the name. You find your keyboard, you find the name. You find a group of 2 black notes. Underneath the name, you put your finger on the left and slide off. Then you'll be on middle C. You have that on the back of your folder. If you grabbed a folder, you can turn your folder over. Find the name, find the group of 2 black notes. Put your finger on the left one, slide to the left, you're on middle C. Okay, so we learned how to find it on a keyboard. If you know where middle C is on the keyboard, you can always find your pitch. Because we can always count up and count down from middle C. Okay, we looked at where is middle C on staff paper. We have a treble clef, which we learned is G clef. We have a bass clef, which we learned is the F clef. And they have this giant space in the middle, but there is that invisible line. And middle C falls on that invisible line. So if you know where it is on the piano, and you know where it is on the music, and we remember that we move up and down line, space, line, space. We don't go line, line, line like stairs. We have to move from one line to the space next. That's how we move our notes up and down. And if you know where middle C is on the keyboard and you know where middle C is right there, then you could play middle C. You could play the note to the right of that. It says a D. I just go up one white note. I could play the note to the right of that has an E in it. I'm going to go up one note. And you can match each note that you're playing on there with what you're playing on the keyboard. Okay, we talked about treble and bass clef notes. Treble clef, we think about people. The spaces spell face. Space spells face. F, A, C, and E are the notes that if we see it right here, we know we're going to play an A on the keyboard. Remember, there's only 7 notes to play. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No more. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. On the lines, we say every good boy deserves fudge. So wherever our note falls, you pick up that hymnal, and there's a pitch right here, we know every good boy. I'm going to start on a B. And then if you find it on the keyboard, you can hit your pitch, and you know exactly where to start. Okay, you guys remember this from last time? Ish? Okay. Bass clef, we need to know what they are. They're different than the treble clef. Bass clef is where the men read. It's about animals. The spaces are all cows eat grass and great big ducks fly away. We do skip with these just to give us a memory aid. But still, when our music is going up a scale, we still move line, space, line, space, line, space. We talked about soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Soprano note follows the note that is going to be on the top of all the notes that are stacked up here. The sopranos will sing the top note. Altos sing the one under that. If there's only one, they both sing the same one. They sing in the treble clef. Guys sing in the bass clef. The basses will sing the bottom of the 2 pitches. The tenors will sing the top of 2 pitches. Now, if we need to know what note does the soprano and alto start on in this song? Middle C. Well, look, it's on that little floating line. We could walk up to our keyboard. The, we, and there's our first pitch, and we sang it, and we read our music, right? What do the basses start on? Bass clef is about animals. The spaces are all cows eat grass. This is a space note, right? C. So the guys are on a C. It's not middle C. So I'm going to look on the piano, and I'm going to go down and find the next C down. It's the same pattern. I find a group of 2, and I fall off, so I'm going to go down one whole section to the next group of 2. There's my bass note. There we go. And we've just found our pitches. So when you're at home, you can find your pitches like this. I think these keep hitting the microphone. I'm just going to take them off. All right. We also learned that we can, that's the one. We can sing a major scale. We talked about singing scales. It means we just walk right up the notes on the keyboard. As long as we start on a C, it sounds really good. If we want to start on a different note, we can do the same scale, but we'll learn in another lesson that there is a certain pattern we have to follow. And when we start on any other note other than C, we have to add in some of these black notes to make the pattern the same. But for the key of C major, we start on a white note, and we stay on white notes all the way up the keyboard. And we can sing it with the letters C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Or we know we can follow Fräulein Maria's advice and sing Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. Turn back around. Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. And we can use those syllables on any pitch that we start on, remembering that if I don't start on C, I'm going to add in some black notes. Like I say, we'll learn that pattern later. But I could start on this, and we can still sing Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, It is easier than learning to say the alphabet backwards. So we'll get there, okay? Singing the do, re, mi's backwards. But we can do it anywhere on the keyboard, and we call it a major scale. All right, so we're learning where the notes go on our music and how we can read them and sing them, moving step by step, which is line, space, line, space. Okay, so today we're all about our slide claps, right? What was the whole purpose of this? We've learned our pitches, but we can't read music without understanding timing and understanding how to measure music. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn how to measure music. Then we can put these two lessons together. Understanding your notes and understanding your rhythms. And you'll have the basis for what you need to read all the music in your hymnals, okay? All right, we're going to start by learning how long each note is. We've got to understand how music is measured, okay? It is so mathematical. We've learned last week that pitches are actual frequencies, waves of sound, A440. It's super mathematical, and this part is nothing less, okay? So from a measure of music, we have to measure it, and we call it a measure. There's little black lines. From one black line to the next is considered one measure of music. So on this page, we have one measure here. Here is the next measure, though it looks tiny. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's another measure from one line to the next. If I said, go to the last measure on the line, your eyes would need to follow all the way down and see here's a line and here's a line. That's the last measure. That's the note I need to start on. So there's one measure. Okay, we talked, here's the next measure. But they don't look the same. One of them looks much longer, and then this guy is really, really, really short. So that's what we're going to figure out. They're actually all the same. They're all the same length. They all contain the same number of beats. In every song, you'll figure out how many beats should be in every measure by looking at the top number on our little fraction that we see right after the treble clef and the bass clef, okay? I didn't put the name up here. This is called our time signature, okay? It's going to tell us, we won't worry about the bottom number right now, but the top number tells us how many beats in each measure. So this one says 4. That means in every measure from one line to the next, we should be able to count to 4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. That one's accurate. What about the next measure? I only see 2 things. 1, 2. We either have a problem or we just need to understand what these notes are, okay? There are 4 beats in this measure, even though it's shorter. Why does it look shorter? Because we have to fit a lot of measures on one page. So they're not going to make them all the same exact width if they only have 2 notes in them. They're going to make them look squished. It still has 4 beats, so let's learn about the beats. All right. The note that looks like a whole is a whole note. It is held for 4 beats. If you see that bad boy and it's on your pitch, you're going to sing la. You're going to hold it out for 4 beats because it's a whole note. It is missing what? A stem. The whole note has no stem on it. That's how you know it's worth 4 beats, okay? Next note over here, the half note. The half note looks kind of like the whole note. It's not filled in the middle, but it does have a stem. That note is held for 2 beats. Why would they call it a half note then? Because in a measure with 4 beats, it takes up half the measure. It takes up 2 beats. Half note, 2 beats. The next one over is a quarter note because in a measure with 4 beats, it takes up 1/4 of the measure. It's only 1 beat. We call it a quarter note. It does not get a quarter of a beat, though. it gets 1 beat. Then we have one that is half the value of the quarter note. That's an eighth note. And as you can see here, when you put more than one together, they're going to connect the little flags at the top. These are great markers. They're going to connect the flags. Instead of having the flag by itself like this, when you have 2 eighth notes together, which you often do, they'll connect them at the top. That's why right here, we see the little flag is connecting a whole bunch of them. You can make that flag go on and on and on and on as much as you need to. So, if we were going to count this measure right here, and we were going to have a whole note, we'd hold it all the way to the end of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this. 1, 2, hold it, 3, 4. Just one big one, okay? This one, we're going to clap twice. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy. 1 beat each. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for eighth notes, because we're not going to say 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, we're not going to count like that. We just put a little and in between. 1 and that gives our ear the sound we need for eighth notes. So it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Start at the beginning. Ready? Set. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Excellent. You got all of the bass notes. We have a few more, though, that we need to add because we're missing something like 3 and some of those, right? Okay. Sometimes a note will have a little dot next to it. The dot indicates that you need to add half the value of the note to itself. So for a whole note that gets 4 beats, we're going to add 2 beats to it for a total of 6 beats. Make sense? It gets a little harder the smaller they get. A half note is worth 2 beats, so half the value of that is 1. So a half note with the dot is going to be what gets 3 beats. Okay, a quarter note, which we know gets 1 beat each. If we add a dot to it, it's going to end up with 1.5 beats. Okay, and the eighth note is even more complicated. It'll give us 3/4 of a beat, which you might think is tricky, but there's a good way to count that. We're going to learn how, okay? So when we did all this, half note, quarter, 1, 2, 3. We did half notes in our feet. We did quarter notes in our hands. And guess what when we did this? Quarter, eighth, quarter. You hear the eighth notes? 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. So we were doing all of these notes with our clapping and our snapping and all that, okay? So let's take a look at this measure. In this particular measure right here, how many beats does the first note get? It gets 3. Half note is worth 2. The dot means take half its value, add a 1. 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So is this measure the same length as this measure? It is. This one has 4 beats. They're just going to be a little bit more spread out. This one also has 4 beats, even though it's much smaller. Let's check to make sure. Does this one have 4 beats? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? All right, here we go. As well as having notes that we sing, there's also going to be times when we have to stay quiet. This morning, Psalm 119X. Da, 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 da. Or is that the right one? Is that Psalm 119? What is 119? The guys come in. Before you let my pleading come. What are the sopranos doing right there? Nothing, right? We're having moments of rest while we're quiet and the guys sing, before thee. So we have to be quiet. We have to have something to indicate to us when there's silence in the music. So we have rests. Let me explain our rests. When you see a rest, that has the same value as a whole note. Okay, I'm not tall enough. Oh, hang on. Okay, here we go. That's better. A whole note, if you can imagine a man walking along and, oh, I fell in the hole. Okay, that's how you tell the difference between these two. It's a hole, Dustin. That's like the pavement, right? And he fell in a hole. Get it? Okay. It's a whole rest. So a whole note gets 4 beats. A whole rest also takes up 4 beats. You just don't have to do anything. You get to be quiet for 4 beats. Don't get it confused with the half rest that looks like a hat. Okay, hat rest is a half rest. It's just a memory aid. It's okay. That's all it is. Half note gets 2 beats. A half rest means you're not going to make sound for 2 beats. Okay? Here's how you count the whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be the same if it's a rest. The half note, here it is. All right, the quarter note, which you've probably seen more of these rests than any of them, it's just a funny squiggly line. But it just means 1 beat of silence. So if you see that, it's just 1 beat of quietness. The 8th rest, you can kind of think this has got a little flag. This guy has his own little flag. So it's going to be the same rhythm as an 8th note. And I didn't tell you about this. Okay, this is the scary part about music. The harder music we get into, these notes, you can keep adding ridiculous amounts of flags to these things, okay? And they just keep dividing in half. So 16th is half of the 8th. We could go down to 32nd note. We could go down to 64th note. We can go down to 128th note, which is so fast you can't even think about it, okay? So anytime that we see one of these rests and it's got another flag added, it just means it's even smaller, okay? And over here, we have our counts. Let's talk about that real quickly. Because we're going to look at music, and sometimes the best way to learn it is not to sing it first at all. The best way to learn it is to go through and clap your rhythm first. That'll help you before you start on your pitches. So if we're going to clap this rhythm up here, it's easy to count to 4. We said when we get to 8th notes, we can throw in an and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We won't see these super often, but you do need to know about them because they are in our music occasionally. 16th notes, when we're counting beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll call it 1 E and a. 1 E and a. 1 E and a. It's kind of like Mommy Made Me Mash My M&Ms. It's kind of fun. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, okay? So this one we would say 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4. Okay? Some of y'all are like, I just don't know about this. Okay, thanks. Great. When you pull open your hymnal and you see, oh, that's that half note. That half note is worth 2 beats. It'll all make sense. All right, so we're going to practice some clapping. Top line, whole notes. If you get this wrong, see me after class, okay? Top line, ready? 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, hold it in front of you, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, last measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. You actually have to hold on to it like this, otherwise we'd go like this and we don't know where we're at and it's not good not a good musicianship skill. Okay, half notes, ready? Second line, 1, 2, ready, go. Half note, half note, half note, half note, half note, half note, last measure, half note. Y'all are so good at this. Quarter notes. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Don't get faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last measure, ready, stop. Now, for 8th notes, children especially, you need to clap quietly. What happens if we all clap loud is that there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, and we end up in a gnarly mess if everybody's clapping loud. We won't be together. So everybody actually has to do a little clap like this, okay? Not this, okay? Everybody little claps, but you'll hear mine to set our tempo, okay? Eighth note, one and, it's and. I don't know, whoever made this chart. And, two, and, three, and, four, and. Here we go. 1, 2, little claps, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and ready, stop. Good. There was only 2 measures. Did you notice that? There's only 2 measures of it up there. Okay. 16th notes. Yes, it's going to have to be teeny tiny. You could even cheat and go like this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a to make it easier. You can do this. Ready, set, here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. There was only one measure. It's only one measure. Okay. That's how we count these notes. When you see them in your music, you're going to understand how long now to sing it for. I do want to give you one more system for counting these notes. We just did it with numbers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, which is often how we'll do it. But sometimes we sit down and there's a difficult rhythm in front of us, and we don't want to keep track of number beats. We just want to speak the rhythm. So this is in some ways a much simpler way of learning the rhythms. Each note can have just a different syllable. So if you see up here, where it's really tiny up here, a half note, you can just say ta, ah, okay, 2 beats. Quarter note is the plain old ta, 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 ta. The 8th notes, toddy, 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 toddy. And the 16th notes, takadimi, 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 takadimi. Again, sometimes you're reading through a difficult rhythm and you don't want to think, is this beat 3 E-anda or is this 4 E-anda? You just need to be able to hear the rhythm in your head with syllables. So we're going to try this, okay? Longer is the longer ta, ah, ah. If it was a whole note, guess what? It'd be ta, ah, 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 okay? We just keep holding it. Ta, 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 ta is the first one. I think you guys can do this. Let's see if we can read 1 through 6 straight in a line. Start on 1, go straight into 2. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, ta, ta. Line 2. Ta, ta, ta-dee, ta. Ta, ta-dee, ta, ta. Ta-dee, ta-dee, ta, ta. Ta-dee, 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 ta. Ta-dee, 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 ta-dee. Did you get it? Okay, so now you're reading note rhythms. Okay, and you got it, what, perfectly? Did you do it perfectly? Let's do 7 through 12, okay? This one throws in some rests. What should you do on a rest? You should rest, yes, exactly. But with your hands, just go out here like they have nothing to do, okay? Just throw them out to the side when you have a rest, okay? Number 7. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta-dee, ta, ta-dee, ta-dee, ta, ta. 9, ta, ta-dee, ta-dee. 10, ta, rest, ta, rest, ta, 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 rest, ta, ta-dee, ta, rest. Okay, now you could pretty much read any song that we put in front of you. We didn't do any of the takadimis. We won't see those that often. But this pretty much covers it. All right. Now, I am going to clap A, B, or C. After I finish it, you tell me which one it was. So now listen to it and see if you can read it on the paper which one it was, okay? Are you ready? Here I go. 1, 2, ready, go. C. Number 2. 2, ready, go. Did you get that? Okay. 3. Ready, go. 4. Here we go. Whoa, okay. There's some differing opinions here. It was C. I'll do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Did you see that? So this one holds for 1.5. So if I'm counting it, it gets the 1 and for beat 1, but it needs a half a beat. So if beat 2 comes next, I'm going to take the first half of it. This one will come on and. Here's beat 3. Here's beat 4. Sometimes it's easier to give every single beat the and, just so you know every beat is a 1 and, or every beat is a 2 and, even though I'm only going to clap one time. This is a quarter note. It holds for the whole one, okay? So this is 1 and. It needs half of beat 2, 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 and. Does that make sense? It's a little confusing, but it'll get easier. Let's look at that one. This is how it sounds. Ready? Go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I said the 4 and, but again, I'm only going to hold it. I'm going to hold a quarter note. So that's what it looks like when a quarter note has a dot after it. It actually has to take half of the next beat, and almost always it'll be an eighth note after a dotted quarter note so that we can finish out beat 2. Because we need half of a beat to finish out beat 2, and an eighth note fills that gap perfectly. Okay. Number 5. Number 5. All right. 1, 2, ready, go. B. If I was just going to say the rhythms, ta-dee, taka-dee-me, rest, ta. Make sense? Or if I counted it with numbers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? Number 6. Ready? Go. B. Here it is again. It's B. Ta, ta-dee, ta. Or with numbers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 4 and, you could say it. Let's look at the first one on 6. Let's do one of these dotted ones again. We've got to have all 4 beats in the measure. We've got to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? We know this starts at 1, and it's a quarter note, so it gets 1 and. It needs another half a beat. So here's all of our beats, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But for this guy, he gets all of the first beat, and he needs another half a beat. So he's going to get the first half of beat 2. And then, like I say, almost always after a dotted quarter note, you'll have an eighth note because we need something to fill up the rest of beat 2. So he gets the and. He just gets the and. That's it. 3 and 4 and. All right, I'm going to clap that one. 6. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Does that make sense? Okay, that's pretty tricky. That's the hardest thing that we'll do today, though, okay? So if that doesn't make sense, just sit on it for a while and we'll learn it again. All right, number 7. Oh, I'm sorry. I said sit on it for a while, but now you have to do it again because every single one of these has a dotted quarter note in it. All right, number 7. Here we go. Concentrate. Ready? Go. It is a hand C. Yes, they're both the exact same. Bravo to the editor of this worksheet. Yes, A and C, they're the exact same. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Did you see how that 8th note hit on the very last one? Let's write it out. 1E and a 2 and. So there's my 1 and, right? I said there's always a 1 and on every beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and. But then he needs half of beat 4 because we need one whole beat plus another half a beat, and he falls on the and. Does that make sense? Clap that with me. Ready? Set. Here we go. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Ah, the and got you at the end, right? Okay, one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. 1E and a 2, 3 and 4 and. Good. Look at the middle one. The only difference is that instead of a quarter note right here, it's going to be eighth notes. 2 and. Do this measure. Ready? Set. Here we go. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Good. You got the and at the end. One more time. Middle measure there. 1, 2. Here we go. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Good. All right. We're getting it. Number 8. Number 8. Look at every single one and just realize they all start with an eighth note. And an eighth note only gets half the beat. Okay? So this one could be confusing. Here we go. 1, 2, here I go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm going to do it again. Ready? Set. Here I go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's C. We need 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up here. That one only gets half of it. This one needs to get the rest, but it needs a whole beat. So it gets the first half of beat 2. The second half of beat 2 goes there. Now, nice. We get to land right on beat 3 on this guy. He gets his 3 and 4 and. Does that make sense? Dustin, does that make sense? Okay. Every beat, when we're counting it, needs 1 and 2 and. So here I go. Last measure here. Sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Did you get that? Here I go again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. What? A? I was just doing C again. Here's A. Here's A. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Did you hear that? 1. Instead of getting 2 and, it gets and 2. It's kind of backwards. 1 and 2 and. There's the 2 and. So here's first beat. Here's the second beat. Here's the third and the fourth beats. But you see our note isn't landing right at the beginning of the beat. It's called syncopation. Jazz musicians love this kind of stuff. Okay. A sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Do A with me. Ready? Set. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 in is a half note, so it gets held all the way to the end. One more time. Ready? Set. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. 9. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Ready? 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sense? If we were to do this one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That one was C, yes. This one, okay, are you ready? This one gets 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So your note doesn't always have to land right on the number. Sometimes it's going to fall on the and that's when you have to start singing. Is that clear as mud? Okay, we're good. Yes, exactly. Because this one is finishing off beat 2. This one is starting beat 3. If they put tails on them, your brain would see it as the same beat. So they have them separated. Okay. Last one. 10. Oh, this looks a little easier. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. One, 2, and 3, and a 4. Right? Do it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, E, and a 4. One more time. 2, here we go. 1, 2, and 3, E, and a 4. Good. What if we did A? 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, E, and a 4. Excellent. See, I told you it was easier. Except for C. Let's do C. Over there. Ready? Can you get it on the first try? The first note needs 1.5 beats. Okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3, E, and a 4. Did you get it? Okay, let's do C. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3, E, and a 4. Y'all rock. That's it. All it is learning these little patterns and when to say them at the right time, okay? All right, here we go. We're going to use our pitches now and our note values. Okay, so if I say, what note is that? I might mean, is it a C? Is it a D? Is it an E? I might mean, is it a half note? Is it a quarter note? So we'll call the letters our pitches. What pitch is that? And that means tell me the letter. If I say what note value is that, that means is it a quarter note, a half note, etc. Okay? All right. So here's a little song we're going to learn. Somebody tell me what note pitch we start on. It's not middle C. Middle C is on the floating line. Okay? So what's this one? What? It is D. So middle C would be on the line right below this one. So it's just the next one up because we move line, space, line, space. So this, I would find, my piano turned off. I would find my middle C. Hang on. Think. There it is. And I would go up. Come. I found my pitch. And I know what it is. What kind of note value does it get? It is a quarter note. So what we're going to do, if I can, I don't know. Oh, well, can you see that? Oh, yeah. Did everybody pick up one of these pieces of paper? If you didn't, raise your hand. Judy can hand one out. So let's look and let's just name the note values along the first line, okay? We forgot that pointer, Chris. I need to bring that thing next time. That thing. All right. Let's count it with our numbers. Okay? 1, 2, 3, like that. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is an easy one, okay? That's why I picked it. We have to go twice as fast, though, to sing it. So let's speed it up a little bit before we start singing it. If this was our tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like you to clap it. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not bad, right? That one is super easy. Tell me something else you notice about this one. It is only one pitch. It's just a melody. Treble clef. Does that mean that only the sopranos are going to sing? No. Nope.
It means everyone sings the same note.
Everyone sings the same note. Gold coin for Dustin. Okay. So we're all going to sing it together. We just did the whole rhythm. That's the whole song. Okay? What pitch did we say we start on? D. The second note is the same one. What's the third note? A, because the treble clef spaces spell face. F, A. So I'm on my piano right here. I just see D, E, F, G, A. So here's the first 4 notes, which is considered one measure. Not hard, right? Okay. All right. Look at the third and the fourth note. They are the third note, fourth note. Exact same. Third and fourth note, exact same. Now, cross over into the next measure. How far are we going to go from this note to get to that note? How far do we go? A giant leap. No. 1. It's on a space, and we go up 1 step, right? Because we move space, line, space, line. Those are our stairs. Space, line, space, line. If we're right here, we're not going to go way up there for the next note. It's going to be close by because it's just the line above this space. If this is our note, here's our next note. Okay? So from here to here, though, that's a much larger jump, isn't it? It is something that we can name. We can call it a fifth. That's how far apart they are. We can learn that Twinkle, Twinkle is the song that identifies fifths. Twinkle, twinkle. Did you guess it right? So we can learn all that stuff in the future, right? You'll learn how to identify how far apart are these just by looking at them, okay? And then we know these two are really close together because it's space line. Da, da. Because if we're singing our do, re, mi scale, do, re, mi, fa, so. What's the next? It would be la. La. So see, if we sing our scale here, it's the same as if we did it in C major. Okay. Don't let that confuse you. I know Jeff is like, why don't we just learn shapes, guys? This would be easier. But we're going to learn all the notes and reading them on the lines, okay? How many of you feel comfortable with all that? You feel like you're getting it? Okay, great. Now, I had a little note at the bottom, and that's just that. If you have a piano, and if you have this piece of paper, and you know middle C is on the invisible line, you can go home and figure out that this starts on D, plus you have the little paper that showed you the spaces and the lines. And you could play this song by plunking out the notes on your keyboard, okay? Just match up the pitches right here. If we're on the word all, I know I've got to say every good boy, that's a B. And I would start on middle C and I'd go up to find my B, okay? So this can be done. We can learn, even those of us in our old age. All right, now we're going to sing it. So grab that piece of paper. We're just going to do a little echoing. Read your music, but also we'll just echo too to make it simple for today. All right. So I'll sing the first phrase. Echo back. Sounds like this. Come, O God of all the earth. Come to us, O righteous one. Come and bring our love to birth. In the glory of your Son. Great. Now the next part will be your favorite because we get to sing it as a round. And it's always going to be the men that start us, and the ladies will follow us in the round. But let's all learn it together. I'm going to sing through the refrain, which you see down at the bottom. What note value do we start with? On the word sing, half note. 2 beats, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then earth and skies, earth and skies. Okay, look at the third measure of the refrain where it says, sing of the God who loves you. Something really neat about music, it often follows the pattern we would say it. Would we say, sing of the God who loves you? Or would we say, sing of the God who loves you? The of the is small when we speak it. Sing of the God. They're short. They fit. They're eighth notes in this music. So it would sound like this. Sing of the God who. See that? 1, 2, and 3, 4. All right, I'm going to sing the refrain through twice so you can pick up on it. It goes like this. Sing out earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. Sing out earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. One more time. Sing out earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. Verse 1. Come, O God of all the earth, come to us, O righteous one. Come and bring our love to birth in the glory of your Son. Sing out earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. Verse 2. Come, O God of wind and flame, fill the earth with righteousness. Teach us all to sing your name. May our lives your love confess. Sing out earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. Verse 3. Come, O God of flashing light, twinkling star and burning sun, God of day and God of night, in your light we sing out earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. Little secret here. I have this memorized with different words on verse 3. Becca. Where's Becca? Have you heard this one? Okay. We changed the words on verse 3, so I'm probably going to perpetually mess them up. You guys just sing the right ones. I will learn the words correctly. It's a little too Catholic. We just changed it. We just had to change it up. God of day and God of night, in your light, the battle's won. Those are the new words. Okay, Verse 4. Sing a little bit louder if you can, if you feel like you've got it. Ready, set, here we go. Come, O God of snow and rain, shower down upon the earth. Come, O God of joy and pain, God of sorrow, God of mirth. Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. Verse 5. Come, O justice, come, O peace, come and shape our hearts anew. Come and make oppression cease. Sing loud. Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you. Did you hear the ladies' part? Sorry, I didn't warn you. I was going to sing the ladies' part. Ladies, this is what we do. The guys sing, sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you. Yes, we just raise your dance to the life. That's all that we do, okay? We don't raise anything else. On the end, we raise your dance to the life around you so that we join the guys and end together. All right. Can you stand up and turn and sing and face the guys and lead the guys? Thank you. Okay. Yes. Whale, if we want to get technical. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. You could. We're actually going to go even faster, so we will easily be able to hold it out when we're going faster. It's a little bit more like this. Come, O God of all the earth, come to us, O righteous one. Come and bring our love to birth in the glory of your Son. Yes, Dustin. Sure. That does not indicate the tempo. That is just the beats per measure. Good question. It's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we do. We use a metronome. We could do, come, O God of all the earth. That's a little slow. We could go like this. Come, O God of all the earth, come to us, O righteous one. All we're doing is changing how many beats per minute. So the metronome gives you a number. 120 should be exactly 2 clicks every second. So the metronome functions off a clock. Yes? Yes, tempo is whatever the conductor says it is. We'll just say that. Okay, so whatever the conductor flaps is going to be our tempo. Now, how do we know in a song? Often it's written in. It will say up in the top. It doesn't on this one. But usually it would say right above the word verses, it might say allegro. It might say andante. It's always, well, that's not a tempo, but yes. That is the volume, right? But it often uses Italian on classical sheet music. On this kind, it might say something like with spirit. And that's all they give you for tempo. They might just say lively or somber. They would give you something like that. Unless they tell you, they'll have a little thing that looks like this. Right above the music, they'll have a quarter note, an equal sign, and a number. If they give you something like that, then you flip on your metronome and you turn it down to 80 and you say, that's the tempo that the composer wants. If there is no number like that, it just says lively or calm or whatever, then it's up to the conductor and the musicians to set a tempo for everybody to sing. So, yes. Okay. So this one, it is going to have a little bard somewhere in the back. Come, O God of all
come to us, O righteous one. Come and bring our love to birth in the glory of your Son. Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your joyful cries, dance to the life around you. Dun, da, da, dun, 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 dun.
Now let's practice the refrain real quickly, okay? Guys are going to sing out, and the ladies, remember we echo the first line.
Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you.
So ladies, we skip joyful cries, okay? All right, let's practice the refrain. Guys, look towards Chris. He's going to sing. Ladies, I'll sing your part. 1, 2, here we go.
Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you.
Excellent. That was lovely. Shall we sing together? All right, stand up if you can. Can anybody tell me what season of the year that we'll pull this song out and wear it out? Advent. Come, O God. This is a new Advent song, so we will be singing this one in Advent.
Come, O God of all the earth, come to us, O righteous one. Come and bring our love to birth in the glory of your Son. Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you. Come, O God of wind and flame, fill the earth with righteousness. Teach us all to sing your name. May our life your love confess. Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you. Come, O God of flashing light, twinkling star and burning sun, God of day and God of night, in your light the battle's won. Ring out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you. Come, O God of snow and rain, shower down upon the earth. Come, O God of joy and pain, God of sorrow, God of mirth. Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around you. Come, O justice, come, O peace, come and shape our hearts anew. Come and make oppression cease, bring us all to life in you. Sing out, earth and skies, sing of the God who loves you. Raise your dance to the life around.
One more time on the refrain.